All right. Hi, guys. It's Mrs. England, and I am recording what is going to be one of my last videos for you guys. We are starting on our very last assignment besides the teacher evaluation. But I don't want you to take this assignment any less serious. This is a really important concept. It's not something I like to cover in just 3 days, but I think the way I'm going to do it is probably the most impactful way that I can do it with the time that we have. Okay, so what I want to do is introduce the assignment that's going to last Tuesday, which is today, Wednesday, and Thursday. So take a look at these animals. What do they all have in common? And let me move my screen a little bit so you can see the pangolin. Okay. So maybe all that they are adorable, but that's not what I'm going for here. These are all animals on the IUCN Red List. Maybe you think that's a good thing, but let's look a little closer at what that is. The IUCN is the International Union for Conservation of Nature, and it is the highest regard for surveying biodiversity. And it is the source that tells us the state of organisms. And if you are on the IUCN Red List, that means you are most close to becoming extinct. So you are most at risk, you're critically endangered or vulnerable. And all of the organisms that I picked were at the critically endangered level. So they are at the risk of no longer being a species on Earth in the wild. So you can look a little closer at the number of organisms that are left in the wild of these. And the pangolin, we don't have adequate numbers, but it is the most trafficked animal in the world. So it is the animal that is most often sold for its scales. So my question for you is, are you willing to sit back and let these organisms go extinct? Are you willing to explain to your kids, if you choose to have them, that these beautiful organisms once walked the earth and we let them go extinct? That we could have done something about it, but we let them go extinct. So if your answer is no, then hopefully you're saying, but I don't know what I can do. Well, I'm glad that you asked that because that's the point of the assignment for the next 3 days. Okay, so a little bit of background on this issue. Why are these organisms and is the extinction rate so high today? Well, take a look at this graph. So we have years over here on the x-axis. We have population over here on the right axis, and we have number of extinctions. The human population is the purple. And if you notice, this is going under exponential growth. So usually what happens that we learned in our previous units was that at some point this population will level off and reach its carrying capacity. But what goes right along with the human population curve is the number of extinctions. So there's no doubt why organisms are going extinct, and it has to do with our population. So let's take a little bit closer look. You may have studied this in some of your history classes or social studies classes. So this is the human population growth curve. And you can see when we go back plus millions of years, our population was very, very low, much lower than 1 billion. In fact, when we moved out of Africa, the estimated population was less than 100,000 individuals. And then our population remained pretty low, less than a billion for thousands upon thousands of years. Even when we think of the plague, the Black Plague, it only had a small dip in our population. And then about right here, at the time of the Industrial Revolution, our population skyrocketed. And why? Technology. So we got better farming practices that enabled us to produce more food. We got vaccinations, we got antibiotics, and technologies in terms of medicine and food are the biggest contributors to our human population growth curve. And we are still at this point here. And what will happen up here? I don't know. That's what we'll have to wait and see. So when we look at extinctions, there actually, and we've kind of looked at this earlier, there's actually been 5 mass extinctions in the past, and this is usually an activity I have you guys do. Here is the extinctions, the 5 mass extinctions. This is the one that's possibly happening today. And what I have you do is I have you go through here and check if there's a change in the ocean, check if there's a change in the atmosphere, and check if there's a change in temperature associated with it. Okay? So I'm not going to have you do this worksheet, but I am going to show you this website. So just come on along with me. Okay, so here is geologic time. So this is furthest back in time, and here is today. Okay, this is in millions of years ago. So this is 500 million years ago. This is 450 million years ago. And here is how many organisms went extinct. Okay, so if we look at this, the mass extinction, the time of the dinosaurs was this extinction here. It was 66 million years ago. And there's been 1, 2, 3, 4 others for a total of 5. And as you notice, the biggest mass extinction was not the one of the dinosaurs. The first mass extinction was, or the biggest mass extinction, which is also the first one, or excuse me, this is not the biggest one, but this mass extinction was extinction in the ocean, because that's where life was. This is the biggest mass extinction, where 96% of species went extinct. And you have changes in the atmosphere, you have changes in the temperature, and you have changes in the ocean. So what you would do is you'd go through this activity and you'd click on them, and you'd read about them. And what you notice is that in each of the 5 mass extinctions, there's 3 similarities. There's a change in the atmosphere, a change in the ocean, and a change in temperature. If we look at what we're doing today to our planet, we are changing the temperature through global warming, we are changing the atmosphere through global warming, and we are changing the oceans through global warming. So if we look at those patterns, if we continue at the state that we are in, it's not looking great unless we can make some changes. So the goal of this video is for you guys to, I'm going to show you the video guide. Load here. You're going to watch a video called Racing Extinction. It's normally one that I show in class. It's actually a video I show for 3 days in class. So you know that it's pretty good if I'm going to take that much class time. Students tell me that they love it. It's eye-opening is what most students tell me. So there's 2 different ways that you can use it, or excuse me, watch the video. You can either click on this YouTube, or this is a Daily Motion video. The video is like 1 hour and 30 minutes or so. So that's why you have 3 days to watch the video. If it were me, I'd probably watch the video all at one sitting. And there's basically just 4 questions you're going to answer. You're going to find out how many species should go extinct naturally. It'll say this in the video. And then during the video, you're really going to focus on 3 questions. What are humans doing that are impacting species in the environment? This does not have to be incomplete species. Why are we doing it? Like, what's the purpose? And then, is there another way? Is there a solution? Okay, so they're going to suggest some of the solutions to you. And then number 3, what are some steps that we can take to prevent the 6th mass extinction? Make sure you watch all the way to the end. Even when you think it's like the end, if you go a little bit further, it will actually give you a bunch of extinctions, or a bunch of example solutions. And then the final thing I'm asking you to do is pick one small thing that you will do, that you could commit to doing, that could make a difference, and explain how it could make a difference. So how could you mitigate some of your impact, and why would doing that possibly help species? Okay, so I hope you enjoy the video. This is due on Thursday for you. We will have one last assignment on Monday, but that assignment is just going to be to post a video and do a teacher eval, so it's pretty self-explanatory. The rest of next week will be time for you guys to get caught up on any assignments that you had wanted to turn in but didn't. So if you have some late assignments, I'm allowing you some extra time to turn stuff in. And I hope you enjoy the video. Have a great day.